Hi there, welcome back to the channel. My name is Pablo, and in this video I'm going to do something that I'm not really used to doing, which is I'm going to show you a little interview that I did a couple days ago with a client of mine called Jan, which has been in the HackerMentoring program for quite a while now, and he wanted to share his story with everyone here on YouTube, which also includes you. Now, I'm super proud of this guy as a mentor because he actually went from almost losing his house because he lost his job due to the COVID pandemic to actually getting a new job in cybersecurity and doubling his income. So needless to say, it's a great story. But without further ado, let's just jump into the interview. Let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Have you ever wondered what life looks like through the eyes of a computer hacker? Have you ever wanted to learn the skill sets to hack just about anything? My name is Pablo and I've acquired these skills. As an ethical hacker, I hack just about anything I can find. Allow me to take you on a journey through the world of cybersecurity to teach you everything it takes to become a successful computer hacker. Ready? Let's go. Hi there. Jan is a client with HackerMentoring for about a year now, I guess. I think you were starting right before the pandemic or just after the pandemic, somewhere around March 2020.
Yeah, that was this strange time of the year. Yes,
yeah,
you're right.
Exactly.
I think I started in March, actually.
Yeah.
Just after I joined NCC, actually. Yes.
I remember because that's when I just moved to Barcelona back then.
Yeah, true.
That's why I still have it very clear in my head. Tell me what was your initial thought? Like, why did you want to learn ethical hacking? Because you don't have any technical background. I mean, you've been working in sales for your whole life. Why hacking?
It's a funny story because I've got a law degree.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been gifted at school, and my parents were in the restaurant business in France. And funny enough, I did law, but I never used my law degree. I went straight back into sales, and I moved to London and joined BT, British Telecom, and that's where I had my first test of sales in the corporate world. For people in the UK, British Telecom is the broadband provider and the telephone line provider, but actually BT is a bit more than that. In the enterprise world, they provide cloud, network, cybersecurity. Just to give you an idea, in terms of cybersecurity, they've got around 20 SOCs around the world. So people are not aware of that in the UK. Then actually in BT, we provided all the Olympics in terms of cybersecurity, the government, the Ministry of Defense and stuff like that. So that's where I had my first test of cybersecurity because I was specialized in the finance sector. So French banks, Spanish banks, Italian banks, especially London being such a diverse city. All the big banks are there. And I was selling everything, cloud, network, whatever IT, but I never put my hands really on a computer to understand what's behind the computer. Yeah. And I realized my knowledge in IT was a bit short, but at the same time, I started to get interested about cybersecurity, started to read books, starting to watch YouTube video, and for personal reasons, I left BT, took a break, and I decided to specialize a bit more in cybersecurity, and that's where I got recruited by NCC Group, which is very well known in the world of cybersecurity for their capabilities in penetration testing. Now, NCC recruited me for my languages, my sales experience, and what they wanted is me going into the banking sector, go sell managed services. So not just penetration testing, but all the MDR, SOC as a service, automation of cybersecurity.
Got it.
And when I joined NCC, I realized it was a lot more technical than BT. And I was surrounded of penetration tester. I don't want to use the word hackers. Consultants more is the appropriate word. Yeah. Consultants. And the guys, I was going on scope with clients, and I realized my knowledge was very limited. And at the same time, I was in FBM, as you know, and I saw you talking about hackering, and I saw your advert, and I decided to send you a quick message, and from there, yeah, I was hooked, man.
Yeah. And so like you come from a sales background. You've been doing sales for banks first, the financial sector. Then you jumped on to NCC, and you were basically also selling to banks, but also other companies. Now, when you started Hacker Mentoring, what was your biggest challenge as someone that doesn't have technical knowledge to actually start this, to start going more technical and getting your hands in the field?
So that's a very, very interesting question, because on the side, I was reading network book. I was trying to do it by myself on YouTube, and I think I got an overdose of information. Where I could talk theory, but actually I wasn't able to do the exercises you were giving me. And it took me a bit of a time to actually understand it's not about what you consume, but it's about your mindset, how you switch this mindset from I'm going to eat everything like a whole buffet for all to more precise and menu, and I think the analogy is good. Buffet for all, where you don't get any results and you get an overdose of food. Where a more 3-star Michelin restaurant, where there's a purpose and a clear structure. And I think the step-by-step process is what really helped me in your program.
Yeah, because this is something that I've heard from other clients as well, is that they really like I have one client calling it the red thread, which is, I'm not sure if that's like an international saying, but I know it's a Dutch saying, where it's like, you just start at the starting point and you slowly and gradually move up to where you want to be, instead of just having bunches of random information, having to fit the puzzle pieces together yourself. So when did you actually start to really have the feeling that, okay, yeah, I now have a way better understanding of hacking? What gave you that confidence?
I think after 6 months, because what you need to understand is a bit like martial arts. You need to fail to understand what's happening. At the beginning, it's a bit too much. It's like a big wave and you can't manage. But I think what I love is when I was texting you on WhatsApp and I tell you I've done that, and I send you a picture, but you say why?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit.
Exactly.
Because it's not necessarily getting the hack or getting the roots. It's the whole mindset and the whole methodology behind it.
100%.
And I've seen it at NCC, and obviously with COVID I lost my job at NCC, but with your help actually, and being in HackerMentoring, I managed to get into bug crowd, which is even more fun.
Yeah, let's actually maybe talk about that. So I'm not sure when it was. It was somewhere during summer, right? Or a little bit before summer, where you lost your job at NCC. And then I remember that you were on the call and you're like, okay, I really have to find something else, because otherwise I need to sell my house, which is of course not a nice position to be in. But now you managed to get a job at Bugcrowd, which for the people that are watching is a bug bounty platform. Well, they do actually more than that. So I've heard from you. They also do their own pen tests. They also offer cybersecurity solutions to business clients. So how did the knowledge that you have learned in the Hacker Mentoring program benefit you in your current job at Bugcrowd?
Huge. Because the thing with NCC is an amazing business, amazing people, but as you know, the business needed to survive, and NCC had a huge pool of consultants, and they didn't want to lose this knowledge, and it was easier to get rid. I don't want to say get rid, but they had to make a hard decision.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of sales once the period passed of COVID. They can recruit any salespeople and train them, but training a consultant, it's another story.
Yeah.
So I understand the decision of the CEO and the sales organization, and I left NCC in good terms. But when I had my interviews, I had a lot of interviews actually with big corporations, big security companies where they wanted to offer me big salaries. But I knew if I was accepting those kind of roles, I would have no life, And when I had the interview, actually the interview in Buckrod happened in 1 week. I had 3 interviews, and every time, once I got recruited, they told me, in comparison to all the candidates, I was the only one who was hacking.
Yeah.
So for Buckrod, they have very strong values. They take care of they call it researchers. So the hackers who do bug bounty, they call them researchers, and in a way, they take care of the researchers very well. For them, it's if there's no researchers on the platform, they have nothing to sell. So for them, it's very important, and for them, having paid from my own money, run your program and being able to demonstrate it on a call, because I had a call with a technical guy, and the guy was like, "Yeah, no, please join."
Yeah,
it's invaluable in a way.
That's really epic to hear. So, do you also think that it's become easier to now sell cybersecurity solutions now that you kind of know what's out there and know how the things work technically?
So the last 2 weeks, I've joined calls with the what I call the hunters, the new logo guys, and on some calls, I was able to scope with them and talk about the servers, talk about the applications, talk about the methodology of penetration testing, reconnaissance, enumeration, getting root and privilege escalation, all that stuff. So I gained a lot of credibility.
Yeah.
And I'm learning at the same time, it's win-win.
Yeah. I think it's also very nice for the researchers that if they get a call from you as a salesperson, that it is someone they can actually talk to on a technical level as well, because otherwise it's like, oh yeah, just another sales guy that just wants to sell me something. And now it's oh, he's one of us, right?
Yes, that's a very good point. I think because there's a bit of this situation in the market. Security has evolved from a cost center to a more board level critical conversation.
Yeah.
And salespeople, what I want to say is the good salespeople are probably 10% of the group. There's a storyteller, understanding the market, understanding your pen and how to talk about it. And most of the 90% of salespeople will go there and say, I've got the silver bullet for you. I'm going to solve all your security problem with my solution. But we all know security is not a checklist problem. It's a culture problem. And you can't solve. It's like taking you for a fool, So me coming and saying, I'm not going to resolve all your problem, but can you tell me about your problems and see what I can do? I'm not going to promise you I'm going to deliver the moon, but
exactly.
I think it's a more realistic conversation, and they really like this approach.
Yeah, this is something that I do with my own company as well. Whenever I'm having a conversation about a client's cybersecurity, most of the time when they hire us for the first time, it's usually to conduct a penetration test. So we go ahead and we try to hack their network, see where all the vulnerabilities are. We put them in a big list and we deliver that report to them with some tips on how they can actually go ahead and prevent these exploits from happening. But what you usually see is that they think that we do a pen test once and then they're safe for the entire line. And that's actually where we, as partly the experts in cybersecurity, but also as good salesmen, we really need to tell them that security is an ongoing process, and that whenever they fix something or they change something about their network, it could open up an entirely different vulnerability. And the best practice is to just go ahead and test it every so often, and make it a lot more proactive than reactive. And this is also where the things like the SOC comes in. If you have that security operations center and something goes wrong, it's most likely already showing up on the monitor and it's already being taken care of. Whereas if you go from a reactive standpoint, it's like, oh yeah, we got hacked, you fix it, but then still all the data is out there somewhere. So that's of course not nice for the client. It's not nice for us. It's just way better if it's an ongoing process. And you, with your new hacking knowledge, you can actually go ahead and show that now to the client as well. You can talk about it in a more technical level. So now that you've joined Buckrout, I also remember that when we started, well, things changed a little bit since you lost your job and you had to like find ways to make money. You also talked about starting your own agency or like being a freelance consultant in cybersecurity. Where did that ambition come from?
It's good to be a sales guy. The money is good, but you're not free. You're still in a 9 to 5, and I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I know what it is to have this freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, even if I love my job, I can't scale it.
Yeah.
I've got a little boy. When he's gonna grow up, I want to spend more time with him. So being at Buckrout, I can see the guys making quite a lot of money with the bug bounty. So that's one area where I can go. The second thing could be a sales consultancy around cybersecurity startup, where CEOs of cybersecurity startup are getting a lot of funding, but their skill in sales is lacking. And I had a lot of conversation with a lot of CEOs and founders where they go through those accelerators, get the conversation around the marketing, the product, but when they come out, they find the wall of sales. I've never sold. A lot of them have been honest on call saying, "Yeah, I've never sold. How do I do that?"
Mm-hmm.
So that's another area. But I'm gonna be honest as well. Since I joined your program, I hack every morning, and I'm really enjoying it. It's like playing chess, So I think I've got a lot of doors open. And I will have to make a choice at one point. But at the moment, I'm just stabilizing my financial life because, like everyone, I've got a mortgage, a little boy.
Exactly.
And I think once my skills will be a bit better, where I move from a beginner to a more intermediate, I'll sit down and see what I can do. But opportunities are there, definitely.
Exactly. All right. Then the last question that I really wanted to ask is, so we've been doing calls every week. You can always text me on WhatsApp with problems. And then I also give you a little bit of homework, like how is that because a lot of people here are maybe on the verge of joining the program or just want to know a little bit more about it. So how did you experience the exercises that I gave you every week?
So I'm going to be honest. It is challenging, but it's good. Someone with an IT background will do it in a week. Me, usually I take a month. But it's not a problem because I can see my mindset changing. I can see the door opening to a world which is incredible, a big community. And I'm getting more confident. It's a bit like martial arts. You lose your first fight, third fight, but you start to win and you get more excited, and you've always been there. And and sorry, I've got the tendency to WhatsApp you very early in the morning.
That's
But
all fine, man.
it's always been there, and I can't wait to see how your venture is gonna develop, because I can see a lot of people who needs what you're doing, you know. And yeah, as I told you before, I think you give too much value in a way. But yeah, guys, it's been amazing.
All right. Yeah, one little thing of feedback that I want to give you as well is that like I've already noticed that from when we started the exercises up until this point, you're asking way less questions and you seem to find the solution on your own a lot quicker already. So it's really nice for me as a coach as well to see the evolution there. And because
Yeah.
you don't come from a technical background, of course, it's normal that you ask a lot of questions, but that's why you have my support. That's also why you're in the program, because you can ask me questions about that. But I see that like the more and more we get into the program and the more exercises you do, the more it becomes clear to you. Because in and of itself, and this is something I want to stress to the people that are watching this video as well, is like I'm not like coaching or mentoring or any kind of thing is not a magic pill. It's not like you're gonna jump on the program and become a master hacker in 2 weeks. Like it takes practice and you need to put in the work, but it's going to shorten your learning curve a lot. Because I mean, let's say that if you look at the way you were handling it before with the YouTube videos and the books and the podcasts, I mean, imagine how long that would have taken you, right?
I would have not moved. That's the problem. It's a bit of an ego question, you know. How do you deal with your ego? And I come from a sales background. We have a lot of ego.
Yeah.
So I had to crush my ego. And you did it very well, because every time I was coming back to you, oh, look, I'm rude.
Yeah.
And you said, why? And I stop and I'm like, oh, yeah, I see what is going on. Because I do the same with my son, you know. My son is like, Daddy, look, look, look. And I'm like, why? You know, I do the same. So what I wanted to say is, yeah, where I am today and where I was last year is day and night. The way I think, the way I talk, the way I ask a question, and that you can't learn from a book or from a YouTube video. I think we are a bit in this generation where we see the social media and it's shiny, but we don't realize how many years of work you've spent. Because when did you start to hack, Pablo?
For me, I really started like getting interested in hacking when I was still a little boy. I was 8 years old, I think. And it all started with like hacking a video game because I didn't like working or playing the game a lot for the money, the in-game money. Then I just started fumbling around with it, finding a way to get that in-game money. And that's basically where it started until at some point when I was about 10 or 11, my my account in that same game was hacked and I lost all my money, all my items, all my work. And I was like, damn, this feels so bad. And then I was like, okay, I need to find a way to prevent this. And then I started reading a little bit on ethical hacking and how the actual hackers do that. And ways to prevent it. And that's really when my passion started. I started reading a lot of books, YouTube videos, but I also had the same problem where, because like what I'm doing is not new. Like I would love to say that I've invented something completely new here, but what I'm doing is not new. And I also had the same struggle of seeing a lot of YouTube videos, reading books, and I had a lot of information, but I couldn't put the puzzle pieces together in a way. And it's only when I started hanging out with other people that were already good at this. So I knew some guy that was really good at web hacking. I knew a guy that was very good at malware. I knew a guy that was very good at network hacking, and just started asking a lot of questions to them and asking them how they did it, why they did it, because the why is always very important. And that's actually when I came to a level that I'm right now, where I'm really good at hacking. I can actually teach it to other people. And that's also around the time when I was like, okay, I'm gonna, because I went to school for cybersecurity, Uh, I was, yeah, I think I did one or 2 years. It's like a specific school here in Belgium that teaches specifically cybersecurity. It's one of the very few. But I remember when I did my first year of school, it was super basic, and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be for the entirety of the course. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just the first thing, so people can kind of get into it, and like people that don't have the background like I do, they can kind of catch up. But then the second year was exactly the same, and it's like, yeah, I mean, with the knowledge that I have right now, I might as well just quit school and just start my own company. And then that's when the real learning started, because then you're out there in the field, and you need to get your hands dirty, because in school they always teach you all the theoretical stuff.
Yeah.
And now I actually had to do it in practice, and I learned so much from hacking different clients, and I was able to provide good value to them, but I also learned a lot for myself. So that was very interesting. This is also why I highly believe that these exercises that we do together are super, super important.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So basically what you just said is from 8 to 23 is 15 years of, trying, failing, finding value, giving value, but you have mentors along the way,
Yep.
and obviously I'm not as young as you. I'm 41, so I've got a bit of money where instead of, because I know the analogy is the same for learning a language, or for me it's martial arts. So I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
I go to a mentor 3 times a week, and my progress in a year is the equivalent of a guy who has done it for himself for 10 years,
Yep.
So I knew it was better to give you this amount of money, because the amount of money, what you need to understand as well, if I pay you, it's a psychological leverage.
Yep.
Now I have to do it instead
Yep.
of slacking off and finding excuses or going to a YouTube video where I think is going to give me something.
Yep.
So instead of spending 15 years, you spend 1 year and
Exactly.
you get better results.
100%. This is why I highly believe in this form of mentoring, because I had a lot of people telling me like, oh, you can make just video courses, sell them for X amount of dollars. But the thing, what they need to understand, and this is something that I highly believe in because I've seen it with myself as well, is that if you have that financial leverage, it makes you a lot more eager to succeed because you've put in that investment and you want to get that investment back. Whereas if you pay, because I've paid a lot of courses back in the day as well, like cybersecurity courses on Udemy and whatever have you. I haven't looked at a single one, because you buy it, you own it, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to look at it someday. Or you look at it and you just watch the video and you don't even practice. Whereas the mentoring program that I have right now is highly like intensive like practicing, where you learn a little bit of theory, then you put it into practice, and then you have my feedback. You constantly are working on this. And this is also why we work with the application form. I mean, people, if people are interested, there's going to be a link below where you can get a little bit more information about the program. But you're going to see that you cannot just buy it. You just cannot just buy it, because I'd rather have someone fill in an application form, have a little talk with them first, and then actually see if they would be a good fit for the program, because that's the only way that I can guarantee good results like you have been having. I mean, you got a great job at
Let's talk results. That's I can put numbers behind it. I double my salary. I'm not going to say the number, but I double my salary.
Wow, that's really impressive. That's really, I didn't even know that, but that's really impressive.
Yeah. Now I'm on a basic of 6 figures in dollars.
Oof, that's nice. So actually the program paid itself back.
Yes, 10 times, 20 times.
All right, that's really nice. That's really nice. Oh, I didn't even know.
So for the people watching the video, I'm like you, when you have to pay, you're like a bit, oh, can I do it? No. But I just got recruited 3 weeks ago, and they had no problem to pay me. And I went actually on another interview where the salary was just insane.
Oof.
So yeah, that ROI is very easy. No question asked.
All right, epic, man. Dude, I highly thank you for this for this great talk. Well, we're gonna jump on a coaching call right after this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we have a little bit of time for hacking as well. But yeah, I really like to thank you for the short interview and sharing your story with the people on YouTube and the other students in the program. Is gonna inspire them a lot. Okay, if you made it this far into the video and you actually want to get the same results as Jan did, or you just want to start your own journey in the cybersecurity world, then I highly suggest you go ahead and check out the link in the description. There is my website where I talk a little bit more about what the Hacker Mentoring program is actually about, and maybe it could be something for you. There is also a link where you can book a free consultation call where we're going to go a little bit deeper into what your goals are and see if and how I can help you. Because of the demand, I can only serve a handful of clients. So whenever you go ahead and you can still book a call, that means that we still have spots open because I can only serve a handful of clients at a time. So if this is something for you and you are like, okay, I really want to get this handled, then I highly suggest you click that link right now and go ahead and check that out. With that being said, I just see you in the next video. Peace.